Hey there, BookTube. Noah. Everyone who reads and must converses the channel. Happy Tag Tuesday. I was hit by Brad Proctor. Thank you, brother. In this tag, just this last week. The original is by Bookmarks and Breadsticks. Pretty fitting, huh? And I'll have both of them linked in the description box. Brad's a great channel. Bookmarks and Breadsticks I'm not as familiar with. So, need to check that out, right? All good. Thank you for creating the tag anyways. Number one, Appetizer, a short story, novelette, or novella that you wish could be expanded into a full-length novel or get a novel-length sequel. So, short stories, novellas that are done very well, they're pretty much the way that they are. In my experience, I don't want more of it because it won't be what it is. You know what I mean? It's a novella. It's that length because that's the way to do it. But one thing that is a novella that did come up that I would love just more and more explorations of is Italo Calvino's Invisible Cities. Explore more beautiful cities, different types of cities. Experimental fiction is what this is. It is beautiful, very highly creative. It is cities and memory, cities and signs, cities and all kinds of aspects of the human being, cities and time. And it gets pretty crazy. I mean, it's just, but they're all beautiful. The writing is very high level. It's beautiful. And you can't go wrong. And if I had to choose something like that, it would, give me another 100 cities from Calvino's Invisible Cities, right? Number two, salad bar. Pick 3 ingredients, plot elements, writing style, tropes, etc. That would be your ideal book salad. So, ideal book salad, I guess, if I have to pick 3 kind of things. Deep characters, deep characterization, and that doesn't mean a lot of expounding on. It doesn't mean that you have to sit and give details and all this kind of thing. It means a depth of the character to be known by the reader and to be conveyed by the writer. That can be done through dialogue. That can be done through a lot of different effects, but it is an understanding of a character's inner life or their psychology or where they might be in that kind of way. A deep character is one, that's for sure. Number 2 is writing. It has to be well written for me to love it. Something that is not well written that I love. There are a few things that are not particularly well written that I love, that I really love. And it is because of the number 3, which is big ideas. I love big ideas, and it doesn't have to be like cosmology or some big questions of being or of life. That kind of stuff is fine and great, actually, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be exploring memory, exploring infinite things, exploring people. It can be a very broad like exploration, but it has to big ideas and it going at big questions. That is one of the things that drives me to love a work more than anything else. So that can sometimes make up for like a poor writer, or not a poor writer, but somebody who doesn't write as well as somebody else, maybe, right? Number 3 is DOSA Station, a slim volume that packs a significant punch. And for this one, I picked As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. This book is, I would say, pretty straightforward with its story. It just happens, and it happens in a narratively linear way. But it does throw you in the way that you are getting each chapter from the inner consciousness of a different character. And they repeat, there's a finite number of characters, but you get the chapters from their point of view, and it can be kind of tough in that way. But this book, the story that they get into and what happens to this family, it hits so hard. It is awesome, and it's very slim. Faulkner does something with this, what is it, 200 pages? I just want to say off the bat. But my edition here is 260 pages. With 260 pages hits you with a very complex family, like every family is, and gives you enough to really know these characters and to feel for them. I mean, you feel for those characters there. I love it. I love As I Lay Dying, and it really packs a punch. That's for sure. Number 4, Pasta, a book that brings you comfort and leaves you fully satisfied and content when you're done with it. Something that just was like a giant warm comforter of a book to me is Against the Day by Thomas Pynchon. This book is so beautiful, amazing. By the end of it, you're just like, yes, yes, yes. This is why I love reading. This is what literature is all about. And it is big, but it is beautiful and amazing. And one of these things that it's awe-inspiring what he can do with narrative, because it's a narrative driven book, like stories. It's about stories. It's about what we love, and it's done in an amazing way. Love it. Number 5, Beef, a book that is hearty, whether it's long, fills you up with a gooey warmness, or was just a slog to get to. So I picked a book that's all of that. A book that is long, kind of a slog, fills you up with warmness, and also just everything else, is Ulysses by James Joyce. This book is big, and I mean, it is just the detail, the description is off the charts. It's very poetic. It's beautiful in places. It's a slog in places, and you won't know where you're bearing. You need to get your bearings and stuff like that. So with Ulysses, I do recommend secondary sources. Go with the Ulysses annotated. But who wants to read a second book to go along with the first book? So it's a big book. It's a commitment, and but it is worth it. It is worth it for sure. It'll give you the whole gamut, right? Number 6, Bread, something that you and your friends fight over while waiting for dinner, is The Bread Basket. Talk about a book you fight with other people about. So I don't fight with other people. Not over books. You can love what you love. You can love whatever, and I support that. If you're reading, you're my kind of people, right? But somebody that I fight with myself over, and I do have a difference of opinion in the way that I see this writer than most people that come in contact with this writer, is Jose Saramago. Jose Saramago. I've been told that Jose is how you pronounce this Portuguese. Correct me if I'm wrong, Christina. But Jose Saramago is a wonderful writer, an amazing writer. When I'm reading it, I love the language, I love the writing. What I don't like is how he is obviously thinks he's the smartest person in the room, and he's here to give you a veiled propaganda, things like that. It's really wild when I saw some of the kind of stuff that Saramago will do in his writing, and it's almost like, why are you doing that? Why would you lessen your art, your creativity for that kind of thing? But he can do what he wants, right? He's the creator of his writing. Number 7, Cheese Room, a book with a happy ever after ending. So there's so many books that have happy ever after endings, and who wants to spoil a book for somebody, right? So what I grabbed for book that has the happy ever after ending that I love, oh my God, love, is Michael Ende's The Neverending Story and Momo. Michael Ende is a German author, And I think all of us book lovers might be familiar with the Never-Ending Story for sure. But Momo is an amazing book and very similar, like in the feel. It is a fantasy. It is children. It is crazy. It is wild. It is good versus evil, and it is done very, very well. It's very enjoyable. So these books, they have kind of a happy ending. I wouldn't call it a Disney ending, but they do have a positive ending, as opposed to it being a tragedy or something like that. It's a children's book. They're written for younger readers. So you can be sure to know that you're going to have a good final experience with that. Number 7. Oh, that was number 7, Cheese Room. Number 8, Chocolate Fountain. When you read a new series or author, do you dip in and out, or do you read it all back to back? So I won't just exhaust an author. I might read a few by an author if I fall in love with an author. Clarice Lispector, Gaddis, those are authors that I found, and then I immediately kind of read more. But with series, like with book series, I definitely read the whole thing at the same time. I read the entire Dune series at once, and I don't mean just this Frank Herbert's 6 books. I read Frank Herbert's original 6, and then I read the prequel trilogy that Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson wrote, called the Battle of Corin, the Machine Crusade, and the Butlerian Jihad. That is a prequel trilogy that they wrote before they wrote 2 books, Hunters of Dune and Sandworms of Dune, that finish up Frank Herbert's original 6. And I recommend it. I mean, it's awesome. It's amazing. And why I read it all is because Frank Herbert's original 6 ends on a cliffhanger. And I'm not one for that. I wouldn't have even read the original 6 if I knew that I wasn't going to be able to finish it. So I had gotten and known what I needed to read to get the whole storyline, and I read it like that. It was an amazing experience. Since I've been on BookTube, one of the series that I've read the whole series of, and I just read it back to back, same way, 1, 2, 3, 4, is the Hyperion series. I read Hyperion, Fall of Hyperion, Endymion, and Rise of Endymion back to back, because I'm not one to really put anything in between books. I mean, I did read other things while I was reading these, not much. I was here to finish the series, and that's just how I am. So with series, I will go ahead and read them all. With authors, I will read them at my leisure, right? Read it when I feel like. There's some authors that I do just jump into. Borges, right? I'm going to read everything I can get my hands on. Number 8, who's invited to the party? So I'm going to tag some people. I pulled out 5 that I'm going to tag, and these are wonderful, beautiful channels. Go ahead and jump on if you don't know them. Hannah at Hannah's Books. I'd love to hear what your answers to this are. Joanna, you're an amazing reader, and he's in the middle of series right now, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, Joanna, and other books. Tom L.A. Books, very cool. Beautiful Minutia, Tiffany, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this tag here. And Ramsey at Rajathon, you rock, brother. And Ramsey is in the middle of reading the Dark Tower series right now, which is an amazing series. I read that in parts because when I first started reading it, it wasn't finished. And then I picked it back up once the last one had come out, and then I read the last 3 together. It's amazing. It's an amazing book. Maybe the last 4 together, because Wizard and Glass, right? An amazing series. I love it. So thank you very much, BookTube. Happy Tag Tuesday. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.